What if I told you that tonight, while your body is sleeping, your brain could still be learning English? No pressure, no stressful grammar drills, no forcing yourself to memorize hundreds of words, just calm repetition, soft English in the background, and a simple nightly routine that slowly trains your brain to feel comfortable with the language. Now, let me say something important right away. This is not magic. You will not wake up tomorrow sounding like a native speaker after one night. But what if your brain could become more familiar with English every single night? What if listening during sleep could reduce fear, improve memory, and help English feel more natural over time? Because that's exactly what we're talking about tonight. And honestly, most people are learning English the hard way. Too much pressure, too much information, too much frustration. But tonight, I want to show you a gentler method, a calmer method, a smarter method, a method based on repetition, relaxation, and consistency. So if you're ready, get comfortable, relax your mind, and let's begin. Good evening, everyone, and welcome back. Tonight's video is going to be different. We're not talking about difficult grammar rules. We're not doing stressful vocabulary tests. And we're definitely not trying to become perfect overnight. Instead, we're going to explore something fascinating. How to train your brain to absorb English naturally while you sleep. Now, maybe you've already tried learning English before. Maybe you studied for years but still feel nervous speaking. Maybe you understand English when reading but freeze during conversations. Or maybe you feel stuck and frustrated because nothing seems to work long term. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. Most English learners don't fail because they are unintelligent. They fail because their learning system creates stress instead of consistency. And your brain does not learn well under constant pressure. Think about it. When people panic during language learning, their mind becomes tense. They overthink every sentence. They become afraid of mistakes. And eventually, they stop enjoying the process completely. But language learning should feel natural. After all, children don't learn language by memorizing grammar textbooks all day. They learn through repetition, exposure, patterns, emotion, and consistency. That's exactly why sleep learning has become such an interesting topic. Because even while you sleep, your brain is still active. It still processes sounds, patterns, emotions, rhythms, and repeated information. And when you combine that with smart learning habits, something amazing starts happening. English slowly becomes familiar instead of frightening. So tonight, I'm going to guide you through a complete 10-step sleep learning method designed to help your brain build stronger English connections naturally over time. And I highly recommend staying until the end of this video because one of the biggest mistakes learners make happens right before progress is about to appear. So take a deep breath, relax your shoulders, and let's start with step number 1. Before you even press play on English audio, you need to prepare your mind. This step is incredibly important. And honestly, most people completely ignore it. Think about what many people do before bed. They scroll social media endlessly, watch stressful news, overthink problems, read negative comments, or worry about tomorrow. Then suddenly they put on English audio and expect their brain to learn efficiently, but a stressed brain struggles to absorb information. Your brain learns best when it feels calm and safe. So before sleep, spend just 2 minutes relaxing your nervous system. Nothing complicated. Take a slow, deep breath in. Hold it for a moment and slowly breathe out. Again, inhale deeply and exhale gently. Now, while relaxing, tell yourself simple positive thoughts like, I learn English naturally. My brain improves every day. I enjoy understanding English. I am becoming more confident. These small affirmations matter more than people realize because emotions strongly affect memory and learning. If your brain connects English with stress, learning becomes harder. But if your brain connects English with calmness and safety, your mind becomes more open to repetition and familiarity. Think of your brain like soil. Healthy soil helps seeds grow, and your mental state before sleep is the soil for learning. Now let's talk about one of the biggest mistakes English learners make. They choose content that is way too difficult. Advanced podcasts, fast conversations, complex lectures, complicated grammar explanations, and then they wonder why nothing improves. But your sleeping brain works differently from your waking brain. During sleep, your brain is not deeply analyzing information. It responds much better to repetition and familiar patterns. That means beginner English is actually extremely powerful for sleep learning. Simple phrases like, how are you? I'm going to work. What time is it? Can you help me? I understand. These short, repeated phrases slowly become familiar inside your brain. And familiarity is the beginning of confidence. Let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed how song lyrics get stuck in your head? You don't memorize them intentionally. You simply hear them repeatedly, again and again and again. That repetition creates memory naturally. Language learning works the same way. Your goal is not complexity. Your goal is familiarity. And simple repeated audio is one of the most effective ways to build that familiarity over time. This next step sounds simple, but it matters a lot. Keep the audio volume low, very low. Your English audio should feel soft and gentle, almost like background rain. Why? Because your brain must stay relaxed during sleep. If the sound is too loud, your nervous system becomes alert instead of restful. And once your brain enters alert mode, learning becomes less effective. Many people believe louder audio creates stronger learning, but actually the opposite often happens. Too much stimulation creates resistance. Gentle repetition creates comfort, and comfort helps the brain absorb patterns naturally. So never force the audio. The goal is passive familiarity, not aggressive memorization. Now here's another common mistake. People play English audio for 8 straight hours every night. And honestly, that's usually unnecessary. Your brain does not need endless exposure. It needs focused repetition. 10 to 30 minutes is enough, especially if the audio repeats. Remember this carefully. Consistency beats intensity. Every single time, think about watering a plant. You don't flood it with an entire river. You water it consistently over time. Language learning works the same way. A short audio repeated nightly is much more powerful than random hours of difficult content. So instead of searching for endless new material, choose one short beginner audio clip and repeat it consistently. That's where real progress happens. Now we arrive at one of the most important parts of this entire system, the 30-day rule. Most learners quit far too early. They listen for 3 nights, maybe 1 week, then immediately switch methods. New apps, new teachers, new videos, new strategies, and every time they restart, they lose momentum. But your brain needs repetition to build strong neural pathways. Real learning is often invisible in the beginning. Think about planting a seed underground. At first, nothing appears on the surface. You might think nothing is happening. But beneath the soil, roots are quietly growing. Your brain develops the same way. Every repeated phrase strengthens connections. Every repeated sound becomes more familiar. Every night builds deeper recognition. That's why you should listen to the same audio for at least 30 days. Yes, the same one, again and again, until your brain starts predicting the sentences automatically, until the sounds feel natural, until English stops feeling foreign. Because fluency doesn't begin with endless information. It begins with deep familiarity. Now, this next step is extremely powerful, and surprisingly, most people skip it. The first few minutes after waking up are very important for memory. Your brain is transitioning from sleep into full awareness. This relaxed mental state makes your brain highly receptive. So when you wake up, replay the same audio for just 5 minutes. Not 1 hour, just 5 focused minutes. This helps transfer nighttime familiarity into conscious memory. Think of nighttime listening as planting seeds. Morning review waters those seeds. And many learners notice something interesting after doing this consistently. English suddenly sounds clearer in the morning. Phrases feel more familiar. Pronunciation becomes easier to recognize. That's because your brain continued processing the sounds overnight. And this small habit can create surprisingly powerful long-term results. Let me tell you a quick story. Imagine 2 English learners. The first learner studies intensely for 5 hours one day, then quits for a week. The second learner studies calmly for just 20 minutes every night before sleep. Which learner improves more after 6 months? Usually the second one. Why? Because the brain loves consistency more than intensity. Small repeated actions create stronger long-term habits. And honestly, this applies to almost everything in life. Fitness, music, public speaking, language learning. Progress is usually quiet in the beginning, but repetition changes the brain slowly over time. And one day, something amazing happens. You suddenly understand a sentence faster. You recognize words automatically. You reply without translating inside your head. That moment feels magical, but it wasn't magic at all. It was repetition, night after night, sentence after sentence, pattern after pattern. That's how transformation happens, quietly. Now, this is where passive learning becomes active learning. And this step is absolutely critical. Listening alone is not enough for fluency. You must train your mouth too, because language is physical. Your tongue, breathing, lips, and speaking muscles all need practice. That's why every morning after your review, you should repeat the sentences out loud, exactly as you hear them. Copy the rhythm, copy the pronunciation, copy the emotion, even if your accent feels imperfect. Speak anyway. Many learners understand English mentally, but freeze during conversations. Why? Because their mouth has never practiced producing the sounds consistently. Your brain and your speaking muscles must work together. And confidence comes through repetition, not waiting. Every sentence you repeat builds familiarity. Little by little, your brain starts saying, I know this sound. This feels familiar. I can say this. And slowly, speaking fear begins disappearing. Now let's make the learning even stronger. Write down 1 or 2 sentences from your audio every morning. Only 1 or 2. That's enough. When you write by hand, your brain pays attention differently. It tells itself, this information matters. Writing activates deeper memory connections because you're engaging multiple learning systems at once. You hear the sentence, you speak the sentence, and now you write the sentence. That combination is extremely powerful. And over time, certain phrases will start appearing automatically in your thoughts during conversations. That's when English begins becoming natural instead of forced. Now, this step surprises many people, but language learning is emotional, not just intellectual. Many learners are not bad at English. They're simply afraid of making mistakes, afraid of embarrassment, afraid of being judged. Their subconscious mind connects English with stress, and that emotional barrier blocks fluency. So before sleeping, repeat simple positive affirmations like, I speak English confidently. I improve every day. I enjoy speaking English. I feel calm when communicating in English. Your subconscious mind absorbs repeated emotional messages over time. And slowly, those emotional associations begin changing. Think about professional athletes. Before competitions, many visualize success repeatedly. Why? Because the brain responds strongly to emotional conditioning, and your emotional state directly affects your performance. When English becomes associated with calmness instead of fear, fluency becomes easier. Now we arrive at the final step, and honestly, this is the truth many people don't want to hear. Sleep learning alone is not enough. It is support, not replacement. You still need active exposure during the day. Reading, listening, watching videos, speaking, thinking in English. Sleep learning strengthens familiarity, but daytime practice transforms familiarity into real communication. Think of sleep learning like fertilizer for a plant. Fertilizer helps growth, but the plant still needs sunlight and water. In the same way, nighttime audio supports your brain, but active daily practice creates fluency. So use the phrases you hear at night during the day. Practice small conversations. Talk to yourself in English. Describe your surroundings. Repeat simple daily sentences. That transition from hearing to using, that is where fluency truly develops. So let's quickly remember the most important lesson from tonight's video. Fluency is not created in one dramatic moment. It is built quietly, one repetition at a time, one sentence at a time, one night at a time. Your brain is constantly adapting, constantly changing, constantly learning from what you repeatedly expose it to. And that means even small daily habits can create extraordinary long-term transformation. So tonight, start simple. Choose one short beginner audio. Keep the volume low. Relax your mind before sleep. Repeat the same content consistently. Review it in the morning. Speak out loud. Write one sentence. And trust the process, because progress is often invisible before it becomes obvious. Do not quit during the invisible stage. That is often when the deepest changes are happening. And remember, English is not something you conquer overnight. It is something you slowly grow into through consistency, repetition, and patience. If you enjoyed this video and want more calm, effective English learning methods like this, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss future lessons. Also, I want to hear from you. How many days are you committing to this sleep learning challenge? 7 days? 21 days? 30 days? Comment below and make your commitment public. And if this video helped relax and motivate you tonight, don't forget to like the video and share it with someone else learning English. Thank you for spending this time with me. Good night, sleep well, and happy English learning.